Hey, veterans and service members. If you're a first-time home buyer using a VA loan, you might be excited about buying your first home with no down payment. But there's something many first-time home buyers don't realize. Even though VA loans require no down payment, you still need money to cover your closing costs. Let me tell you about John. He was pre-approved through a big bank for a VA loan and knew he didn't need a down payment. But his deal fell through when he was buying a house because he didn't understand how much he would need at closing. The bank's loan officer didn't explain the closing costs clearly, and John didn't have enough cash to cover them. But here's the good news. You don't have to go through the same experience. Today I will walk you through estimating closing costs. I'll also demonstrate how you can use our VA loan calculator to help you understand these costs. Then I'll show you an easy way to reduce out-of-pocket expenses with a seller closing cost credit. First, let's break down closing costs and why they matter. Closing costs are the fees you pay at the end of the home buying process. The big one is the VA funding fee. It's a one-time cost that helps fund the VA program. It's typically 2.15% of the loan amount for first-time home buyers who don't put any money down. So for example, if you buy a $400,000 home with no down payment, the funding fee is $8,600. Most veterans add the funding fee to the loan, and by rolling it into the loan, it does not increase the amount of money you need at closing. However, there are other fees associated with your home purchase, and you'll pay several of them. The most common are loan origination, appraisal, title company, government, taxes, insurance, and interest. And although VA loans require a zero down payment, these costs can add up to thousands. Now, some lenders will tell you to estimate these costs at 3 to 5% of the loan amount, but this method can be wildly inaccurate, and you need to know more exact numbers for your big purchase. Use the VA loan calculator to estimate your cash to close. Instead of guessing how much you'll need, input the property zip code, the purchase price, and the down payment, if any, into our VA loan calculator. You get a detailed breakdown of the costs involved, including the VA funding fee and other expenses associated with your loan. Now that you know the closing costs, you can ask the seller for a closing cost credit. This negotiation tactic allows you to get the seller to help cover your closing costs. And here's how it works. Let's say the seller would accept $395,000 for their house. You can offer $400,000 and request a $5,000 seller credit. The seller still walks away with their $395,000 after giving you a $5,000 credit at closing to cover some or all of your costs. The best part is that you save by reducing your upfront costs by $5,000. Now, of course, the credit will increase your loan balance by $5,000, which means your monthly payment will be slightly higher. However, it can be a great way to make home ownership more affordable. Now, the VA limits seller credits, so be sure that you and your real estate agent talk to your loan officer for details before writing a sales contract and offering to buy a house. Now, if you still have questions, then book a time to talk to a VA loan expert at newcastle.loans. In John's case, after the first deal fell through because of unexpected closing costs, he came to us at Newcastle Home Loans, and we used our VA loan calculator to give him a clear estimate of what he'd need at closing. Now, armed with this information, his real estate agent helped him negotiate a seller credit on a new home, and John bought this house with no down payment or out-of-pocket costs, and the deal closed without a hitch. The takeaway: always estimate your closing costs upfront and use tools like our VA loan calculator to stay ahead. And don't forget to ask for a seller credit to help lower your out-of-pocket expenses at closing. Now, if you're ready to see what your closing costs will look like, head over to our website at newcastle.loans. You'll be able to run your own numbers and start your journey to home ownership with confidence. Thanks for watching, and happy home buying.